To the parents of all young ATV riders, this video is an introduction to youth model ATVs. It was produced with children in mind. It contains important information about the ATVs and certain safety precautions. You and your children should sit down together and watch this video often. Make sure that they have a full understanding of the importance of safe and responsible ATV riding. All ATVs meet or exceed the safety guidelines established by the American National Standards Institute. However, any ATV can be dangerous if you do not follow these safety rules. But if you ride carefully and responsibly, they're a lot of fun. Youth ATVs are designed and intended for use by children. Children under the age of 12 should not ride on a model designed for 12 years old and up. And no child under the age of 16 should ride an ATV designed and sold for an adult. Parents, you have the responsibility to teach your children the proper and safe way to ride any ATV. Now, this should be done by reading the owner's manual with your children before they first use the ATV and periodically afterwards. Do not allow other children to ride your youth model ATV unless they have read the manual, seen this video. You need to review with your children the warnings, safety video, and owner's manual and be sure that they understand how to operate the ATV. Watch this video with your children periodically too. But remember, this video is not intended to take the place of reading the owner's manual and taking the SVIA ATV rider course. Keeping your child's safety foremost in mind, you must set the limits and guidelines for your children and be sure that they follow them when operating any ATV. Never allow children to operate any ATV without adult supervision. A child's decision-making ability has not been fully developed. Children may not make the right decision when required to do so. Therefore, it is your responsibility to be sure that children who operate your youth model ATV are closely supervised. Doing all of this will result in a fun and safe experience for you and your child. In order to help you be sure that the riding experience you and your child have is a safe one, you'll need to do the following. First, you need to make sure that your child can reach all of the controls. Now, this is done by checking the following items. Make certain that your child has enough seat-to-inseam clearance so the child can shift his or her weight depending on the terrain that you're riding on. The minimum clearance should be 3 inches. While your child is sitting on the ATV, the upper leg position should be as close to horizontal as possible to avoid interference with steering the machine. Foot position should be flat on the running boards to prevent the child from losing balance during maneuvers. Having his or her feet firmly planted on the running boards will allow the child to have better control of the machine. The child should be able to reach the handlebar grips comfortably to assure proper steering control during turns. This also assures that your child can reach the throttle and brake during turns. Check the handbrake reach of your child. He or she should be able to cover the span of the grip to the brake lever with the first knuckle of the fingers. He should also be able to reach the emergency shutoff switch while his hand is on the handlebar grip. Also, make certain that your child is wearing all of the appropriate protective gear and clothing. Now, first, this would include a helmet. It's also important to wear goggles, shoulder pads, elbow pads, long sleeves, gloves, boots that cover the ankles, and long pants. Whenever this ATV is to be transported, lock the parking brake, shut the fuel valve off, secure the gas cap, and always tie the ATV to the transporting unit securely using suitable straps. Make sure you connect the straps to the frame of the ATV, front and rear. Remember, always read, understand, and heed the warnings and instructions provided in the owner's manual and on the labels placed on the ATV. Well, kids, it's your turn to ride your very own youth model ATV. Today, we're going to tell you some very important things that you need to know before you go out riding. Before you go riding, you and an adult need to sit down together and read and understand the owner's manual. Now, this book comes with the ATV, and it should stay with the ATV at all times. It has a lot of information that you need to know, and it's written for kids like you. Make sure you ask questions if there's something you don't understand. The most important thing to think about is safety. Always get permission from your parents before riding, and never ride without an adult watching or riding along, just in case you run out of gas, you get stuck, or need other help. And do not let anyone else ride the ATV unless your parents say it's okay. Make sure that you understand all of the warning labels on the ATV and be sure that you follow them. Now we'll go over the controls. This is the throttle. This makes the ATV move forward. The farther you push the throttle, the faster you go. Now, before you start the engine, be sure the throttle moves easily and returns to the closed position. There are two brake handles. The right handle controls the front brake, and the left handle operates the rear brake. You pull the handles towards the grip to stop. When you're riding, apply both brakes at the same time. Always take your thumb off the throttle when you pull the brake handles. Before you start the engine, be sure the brake handles move easily and return to their normal position. There are three ways to stop the engine. This is the engine stop switch. This is called a tether strap. It attaches snugly around your wrist or clips to your belt or other clothing and then connects to the tether switch. If you fall off your youth model ATV, the strap will be pulled off the switch and the engine will stop. It's very important that you wear this strap and connect it to the tether switch whenever you're riding. Be careful not to get the cord tangled on any part of the ATV or on any part of your body. Here is the key switch. It must be turned on to start the ATV. After you're finished riding for the day, be sure to turn the key off, take the key out, and give it to an adult to put in a safe place. When you want to start this ATV, you must pull the left-hand brake handle towards the grip firmly and hold, or apply the parking brake while you push the starter switch located on the left-hand control. The engine will not start unless the left-hand brake handle is pulled firmly before pushing the starter switch. Filling the gas tank can be dangerous. Always have an adult check and fill the gas tank. One tank of gas will last approximately 3 to 4 hours. Remember, gasoline can catch fire and explode, and the fumes can be dangerous if you breathe them. Only adults should fill the gas tank. Before you go out for a ride, wear the right clothes. Make sure to always wear a helmet and use goggles for eye protection. Wear good boots that fit properly and cover your ankles. Make sure your gloves are the right size and fit snugly. Never ever wear clothing that is loose. It could be caught in the drivetrain or the wheels of the ATV and hurt you. Before you ride, you need to make sure your ATV is ready to ride. Have an adult help you with these important pre-ride checks. Check the brakes by squeezing the handles to make sure they move freely and there is brake tension. Make sure the throttle pushes forward and returns freely without sticking. If you've used the storage area under the seat, be sure the seat is locked and that the tether switch is properly installed. Have an adult check the wheels and tires, steering, drive chain, and fasteners, as described in the owner's manual. Let's go over the 3 different ways to stop your engine one more time. They are: push the engine stop switch, pull the tether strap off the tether switch, or turn off the key. Before starting the engine, you should sit on the ATV in the position to drive it and attach the tether strap to your wrist or clothing and then to the tether switch. Now, squeeze the rear brake handle firmly or apply the parking brake and push the starter switch until the ATV starts. You might need an adult to help you with this. It could take a couple of tries. Make sure